What's up, YouTube peeps and barbecue freaks? Thank you guys for joining today's video. We are going to do my absolute favorite queso, which is a queso blanco or a white cheese sauce, a white cheese queso. It's my absolute favorite. We're gonna use some Monterey Jack, some white American cheese. We're gonna roast a Poblano Pepper. This is gonna be good. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. This is a perfect recipe if you're looking to make a queso for like game day or for a party. This is it. I guarantee it. Anyway, I just know you guys are going to love it as much as I do. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I got a Poblano pepper here. We're going to roast this. So I'm just going to cut off the end here. And I want to clean out the seeds on the inside here. Get a trash bag here. So I'm just simply going to cut it in half and then de-seed it. We're not going to eat those seeds. We don't want them in there anyway. Just want to make sure we get the inside removed. And I'm actually going to cut the bottom just to open up a little more. Get that inside out. There you go. Same here. So we can get it opened up. And that is it. So we cleaned out the inside here. I'm going to put it on a tray. I'm going to put it in a toaster oven. And we're going to broil this Poblano pepper. I wanted to get some char. We're going to slice it up and we're going to add it to the queso once it's done. This is going to add some really, really good flavor. So I'm going to get this. I got it in a broiler, and it's probably going to take, 5-10 minutes maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But once it's done, I'll pick back up. Next, we're going to get on to the cheese. All right, so for the cheese, we're going to use two different cheeses. I'm going to use some Monterey Jack cheese, and I'm going to use some white American cheese. This stuff is really good. I had the deli cut me some cheese, and the stuff is really, really good. Just by itself, it's pretty dang good. And this I'm just gonna bend and cut in pieces and just kind of break it up like that, just to make smaller pieces. When we put in the pot, keep it pretty simple. And this we're actually going to shred. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna get all of this shredded. It's an 8-ounce package of Monterey Jack, and this was half a pound of American white cheese. So I'm gonna grate this really quickly, and I'm gonna chop this up into, just cubes, just so it's easier to melt instead of putting in a, whole slice in the pot. So let me get this shredded and cut up, and I will pick back up. All right, guys. So I have the Monterey Jack cheese here. It's been shredded. I took the white American cheese here and cubed it up. I've taken about 1/8 of an onion. Now this recipe, I'm making a small batch. Really, it's just me tonight, so I'm not making a ton. If I was making it for like a party or something, I would definitely up the ingredients. But for this measurement of the cheese and the onion and garlic, I mean I'll probably be able to feed a few people, 3 to 4 people. I would try to leave the measurements below if you wanted to make a bigger batch to take to like a party or, for game day or something like that. But again, I've got the cheese grated, the American cheese cubed. I've got two garlic cloves that I've minced up. I've got about 1/8 of a white onion that I've minced up, and 2 tablespoons of butter. We're also going to use this rotel. Now, I thought about, getting my own tomatoes and roasting them since I was going to roast the bell peppers. But quite honestly, I really wanted to try to keep it simple tonight. So, I found this. It's the hot. This should add a little bit of heat, which, I'm looking for. It's a diced tomatoes with habanero. And so we're going to add this to the dish at the end or at some point. But you could also take your own tomatoes and roast them off just like I'm doing the bell pepper. Again, I just wanted to try to keep it, simple as possible tonight. So this is what we're going with. We're gonna move to the stove and get this queso underway. All All right, you guys, before we get onto the sauce, I just pulled the bell pepper, the Poblano peppers off. And as you can see, it's got some nice char on there. So it roasted really well. I'm happy with the way that looks. You can see that there. So what I'm gonna do with this, I'm gonna take this and dice it up. And then we're gonna add that at the end. But for now, for the sauce, I'm gonna take the 2 teaspoons of butter, and you can use oil. I'm just going with butter. We're gonna add that to the pot. And we're gonna let this, I have this on a low to medium heat. You do not want this too hot. So we're just gonna let this butter melt, and then we'll add the other ingredients. All right, so the butter is melted. To that, I'm going to take this onion. We want to saute that down some. Don't add the garlic just yet. You want to saute that onion without burning the garlic. So the garlic will not take long. So do not add it at the same time you're adding the onion. And we'll just give it a stir, and we're just going to let this saute down for just a couple of minutes. All right, you guys, the onions have been sauteing for 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to take the 2 cloves of garlic that I minced up. We're going to add that in there. And just let this saute down a little bit. And this will probably go for about 3 or 4 minutes. Again, make sure you're stirring it so that way the garlic doesn't burn. Oh man, just adding that garlic, I'm already picking up that aroma. Yeah, buddy, that smells, oh man, with the butter and the onion, good gosh almighty, that smells good. So we're gonna let this saute for, like I said, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. Then I'll pick back up. All right, this has been sauteing for just a couple minutes. Next, I'm gonna add 1 cup of whole milk. Now the container I have here, let me show you really quickly, is a 16-ounce container. But I'm only going with 8 ounces. Now, if you were making a larger batch, you would probably go with the whole 16. But I'm not making a huge batch, so I'm only going with 8 ounces, so 1 cup. But it's good to have a little bit extra, because if it's a little thicker than I would like, I could thin it out with the milk. And also, you know, one thing I forgot to do, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of table salt. Just a taste. And a little black pepper. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this. It's not very much at all. So that's, again, that's 1 cup of whole milk. And to that, I'm going to add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. I'm going to add that to the mix. And again, the container that I have here for the heavy whipping cream is also a 16-ounce container. I'm only using half of it, 1 cup. If I feel like I need to add more later, I can. If you were making, again, a larger batch, you would probably add the whole 16 ounces. But, you know, that would just be, I mean, something that you'll have to determine as you're cooking it. If you feel it's too thick and you know you like it a little more on the runnier side, then you would add more. If you like your queso thick, then you would not add any more. But so it's 1 cup of whole milk and 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and we just want to mix this up. We're gonna let this warm up, and then we're gonna start adding the cheese. All right, you guys, this is coming to a simmer boil. we're going to take this white American cheese and start adding it little by little and stirring as we do. I'm not going to add all of it at once. You don't want it to clump up. So we're going to add it little by little. I'm going to continue to stir this as I add it. I do not want to let it sit and you know, burn up. So and I'll just, you know, add it little by little until we get it all in. I think adding the cheese, it's like either in cubes or in, you know, bigger pieces like this, makes it easier when you go in to add the shredded. If you can add this in first, because then you have a creamy base to add that shredded in, so it just kind of melts a little easier, in my opinion. So I'm going to add the rest of this, or I'm going to keep stirring this as I add the rest of this cheese to the pot. All right, so we got all of the white American cheese in here, and it's melted down. It's starting to look like queso. Now, that's good. We're going to take this shredded Monterey Jack cheese and add that to the mix. Again, do not add it all at once. Just add it as you're stirring it in. And this is going to melt a little quicker than the American, just because it's shredded. But you want to keep stirring it. And then you just keep doing this till you get it all in and get it incorporated. And once this is all melted, we're going to add the other ingredients, the tomatoes and the bell peppers. All right, so I got all of the Monterey Jack cheese in here. I like my Queso Blanco on the thinner side, excuse me, compared to a regular queso. I'm just a big fan of you know, it being on the thinner side for me, and that's where this is at, which I'm perfectly okay with. So we're going to take this 10-ounce can of Rotel, the diced tomatoes with a habanero here, and add that into the pot. Oh, by the way, I did drain the juices out because the queso is already thin enough. I didn't want the juice from the can to make it, you know, to thin it out more. So I did drain it. And then we're going to get this Poblano diced up and add that to the mix. And then it'll be done. All right, lastly, we're going to take that Poblano pepper that we broiled and or roasted and add that to the pot. To me, Queso Blanco has to have poblano, a roasted poblano pepper in there. That's how I like it. They go together. It just has to have it in there. So do not leave it out. And that is it. I'll turn the fire off. We'll let it sit for just a bit. It's going to tighten up with just a little bit more. And then we'll get to tasting this bad boy. God, that looks so good. Look at that. Alright, I'll pick back up once it's time to taste test it. Alright, you guys, the queso's done. This is what it looks like. We got some chips. The chips that I like, I'll tell you what they are. They're these Julio's tortilla chips. My absolute favorite right here. But this is what the queso looks like. We're gonna give it a taste and see what it tastes like. Alright, you guys, we're gonna give this Queso Blanco a try. Got some right here. I don't want to drip everywhere, but that roasted poblano makes all the difference. Every time I have a Queso Blanco, the best ones that I've had always had a roasted poblano in there. That's just how I like it. It is some good stuff, you guys. I gotta go in for another bite. Then, you know, get the tomatoes and just the two cheeses together. They should work really well. Another bite here. Damn it, that's good. If you're looking for a queso recipe, a Queso Blanco recipe, or a white queso recipe, this is it. I would add a little more cheese, but it's excellent. Good gosh, it's so good. Anyway, that's my version of a Queso Blanco recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time. Take care.